at least you can call it to order and do all that
We
stuff.
can get things going. We can go through the.
Yeah, let's get going, yeah.
We're pulling in. So
This guy's got homework to do, you. Right, Francis? Yeah. You tell me when. Good. Good evening. Welcome to the Poolesville Parks Board, March 5th, 2025. Call to order. Any announcements? Next Parks Board meeting will be April 9th, 7 o'clock here.
Yeah, and just to get this out of the way while we're talking about it, I thought, Tim, you had suggested us doing a tour of a park at either of the next, either April or May meeting. So I just want to see if you guys had a thought on what you wanted to see and when might work.
Okay, can we talk about that later, or?
Sure. I just was throwing it out since we were trying to.
All right, we'll bring that up under new business or old business park tour.
All right.
All right. We said Stevens, right? We haven't been there in a while?
correct.
I thought, yeah. Stevens with a V. Yeah. Would we meet there at 6 o'clock or 7, or?
What do you want to do?
Well, I think we used to meet an hour before,
Yeah,
right? And
that was-
We do 6 o'clock, then be back.
and have a meeting at 7, yeah. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember last year, the thunderstorm that chased us?
Oh, yeah. So I guess
Yeah, the tour, yeah.
So
Remember, I
April-
laughed.
April's
Time to go, guys.
April 9th, Wednesday, we'll meet at 6 o'clock at Stevens in the parking lot for an hour, and then we'll head over here at 7 o'clock for a meeting. Everyone got it? Gail, Stevens with a V?
There.
Okay. Oh, I didn't call who's here.
Oh, you did,
Great.
well, you were waiting for them.
Yeah. Let me see. Attendance tonight is Commissioner Alan Hobbs, Terry Pierce, myself, Tim Pike, Christina Carr, Doug McKinney, Patrick Trainer, Gail Partain, town staff Preston King, and town engineer John Strong, and Niles.
Remote.
All right.
And
Niles,
Tara.
I can't say your name, sorry.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
All right. Citizen comments on the agenda items. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Doug. Anyone have a comment on the, you're going to talk about the pavilion? Yeah, okay. Let's approve the minutes of February 5th, 2025. Everyone have a chance to look at them? They're on the back of their sheets. I looked at them. Any misspelled words?
Steers.
All right, no misspelled words, that's good. They're on the back, right in the back of them. Motion to approve the minutes, guys? Gals?
I move to approve the minutes.
All right, Christina makes a motion to approve. Terry seconds. All in favor? Aye. 3, 4, 7, 0, 0. Okay, no abstentions. 7-0, minutes passed, approved. Okay. New business, proposed Eagle Scout project. Francis,
Yes.
state your name and rank and tell us all about it.
Hello, my name is Francis Morathi, and before I start, I'd like to pass out some packets, basically, about my project.
I thought he was going to pass out.
I miscounted, so I only have 6.
That's
so
okay.
hopefully we can share.
Patrick can't read anyway.
Have them sign.
I think we might have this in the back.
Oh, we have this.
We have this in the back.
Yeah, it's okay, we have it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some of us do. But you pass it
No,
on, it's fine. Thank you.
yeah, everybody should have the packet, so everybody should.
And just make sure you speak into the mic,
Yeah,
so Niles don't yell at us.
exactly. Just turn the mic towards you. That's all you need. Perfect.
Okay.
So, your full name and your address, please.
Yes, my name is Francis Morathi, and I live at 2220 McNamara Road in Stony Springs. I'm a junior at Poolesville High School, and I'm a Life Scout at Troop 1094 in Darnestown, Maryland. I've come here today asking for approval for my Eagle project here, which I've been working with Mr. King for a while now. The aim is to make 4 similar benches in 2 different locations. 2 of them would be near the middle school pond, and another one would be at the new pollinator garden near Stevens Park. The goal for this is to basically add more recreational area, more educational space where I can enhance the accessibility of these environmentally rich areas. I'm going to be constructing these benches with the help of materials from several local companies in town, such as Morningstar Welding and Preston King and his team, who offered to mold the bench, the metal frame for the bench, and donate cement and gravel, respectively. This will basically help enrich the townspeople's experience, providing opportunities for education and enjoyment. And I plan for this to happen in the April-May timeframe. If you don't mind, in the packets, on the last 2 pages are different pictures of the bench that I'm going to be modeling off, and I'm going to be in these 2 separate locations. The other pages are also of my Eagle project plan, in which I'm going to be getting approval for soon. I just wanted to show you guys. Basically, if you could turn your attention up here, this is a sketch that I worked with Mr. Morningstar to make. Sorry. Basically, there'll be a metal frame for the bench. It's going to be sort of an upside down slanted F frame. On top of it, there's going to be two sets of wood going across for the seating area and the backrest area. If you'd like, I can pass this around just so you guys have a frame of reference of what you want my projects to be like. And so that's the basic gist of my project. If you guys have any questions, please.
I'm going to add a little bit to it. Him and I have been working. He had one project, we had to shift gears on him, that was on me. But what we did, we had our last Eagle Scout, he won so many awards with his project. So really, he's tying in even further within his project so we can enjoy the improved pollinator patch that was put in at Collier Circle Pond. Then the other two that are going at the pond are actually going to tie into our proposed trail system. So it would be a pit stop. Remember, we did the walk around the pond, the real tall hill. We're going to put one there so you can reflect back down on the pond. And there will be a trail. So he's really tied it into the community, also tied it in with the previous Eagle Scout project. So it's really been a pleasure working with him. He's really done a nice job.
Thank you for the kind words. Yeah.
That's good. I mean, where's the second one gonna go?
So we're actually putting two at the, one on the hill, then the other one, as you know, the last several years, we've been cultivating the fishing population in the town, and there's a lot of people that drive their kids there, they stay in the car, there's a place to sit, so we're actually going to put a bench, so they don't have to stay in their car, they can sit on the bench and watch their children.
Bank?
On the bank.
Closest to the school?
Yes, exactly. There's actually a gravel pull-off, and we have an access road anyways. It's going to be we put a trash can in there last spring, and now this is just going to go hand in hand with it, since the community has really bought into it. And, there's a lot, like I said, a lot of parents come to watch their kids. They sit there. It just gives them a place to, watch and reflect on the water and everything.
That's awesome.
And the bench, the seating, and the backing is going to be pressure treated?
Yes, it will be. We've been actually planning to make it recycled plastic wood, so I'm going to be enlisting the help of Mr. Spielman at the hardware store near us, yeah. I've yet to talk to him, but that's the plan.
Because him and I, he was talking about using the pressure-treated wood, and I was like, hey, let's go ahead and get like Trex, the recycled plastic woods.
Yeah.
And I think it fits right in with the theme about taking care of the environment and everything. So he has to do a little research on it, but he should be able to find some recycled plastics like our benches out here.
Because I think the flex will probably flex.
It would depend on the distance and how thick. It would dictate how thick his, and he might have to have a third leg made too. We'll have to do
I
it
think,
though.
yeah, okay. Well, sounds good, like a great project.
Yeah, if I could pass out one more thing, it's basically a packet that I'm supposed to provide you for the Eagle Project. It's just kind of showing the Navigating Eagle Scout Service project, just to
Thank you.
give you some more information about the topic.
How important is this?
Yeah.
We'll share the one down here. Thank you, sir.
How important is the navigator? You just gonna, when you just hand out?
It's pretty important because it's supposed to be one of the things that I'm supposed to provide to you, the beneficiary, the town of Poolesville, to just kind of show you what's expected of me and what I'm going to be doing and how you fit into that as the town.
And basically how you earn your Eagle Scout, right?
Yeah, so it's pretty important.
Pretty important.
Basically, it says, here, it will, you won't file the Eagle unless you file that.
Yeah, it's part of the process.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of scouts kind of blow through it, and then you gotta come back and find out how to get this whole document, and I still have that left yet.
Yeah, that's why I want to do it right the first time.
Mr. McKinney was our prior scoutmaster.
Oh, wow, okay, that's cool.
He speaks from experience.
That's the deal.
Okay.
Could you, if the Trex doesn't work, could you use cedar?
What's that?
If the Trex doesn't work, can you just use 2x cedar? Like
Oh,
2x
we can.
I'm just, like, if the Trex won't work from a structural standpoint.
No, we could always just go back to, we could actually go back to pressure-treated wood. It's just something he's looking into.
Yeah, I got you, okay.
It's not, it's like you have to. If you can find a material that is structurally strong enough, that's fine. If not, go with the pressure-treated, which would be fine.
Anyone have any questions? Mr. Hobbs?
No,
Mr. Pierce? Mr.
very thorough report, and
Yep. Think so. Patrick, any?
I like the idea of, I mean, obviously, I'm over by the middle school pond, so we can always use seating over there. So I can make sure Preston's doing his job.
Two over there, then two
watching
over
this
at
guy.
Stevens Park, correct?
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
Actually, it says Stevens Park, but it's actually on the Collier Circle. Stevens Park kind of, it's a big horseshoe,
I know.
but it's actually on the pond side, Wooten Avenue entrance, on Stevens side, and where the pollinator patch was put last year.
The one over by Collier Circle?
Yeah.
Oh, the Collier Circle Pond.
Yes, but that actually says Stevens Park. It's just a different entrance.
I got you.
Yeah, but it's actually Collier Circle Pond area.
Where where that pollinator patch went in last.
Yes, yep.
Any questions? Dale? No. Doug? If you think of it, let us know.
How many scouts you think you're gonna need to do your project?
We're pretty sure it's going to be about 20 scouts since it's going to be in 4 different areas, and we're going to be working with cement, so it wouldn't require too many people. Since the first day of the project is going to be setting in the cement, letting it dry for a week, then we're going to come back. Oh, wait a minute. Back to the first day, setting up the cement, setting up the bench, and then the second week, we're going to come back and just drill the bench into the cement, and then that's the process.
I think set the screws. Are you gonna set the screws?
You have SETCOM. You have.
Yeah, we're going to be drilling in it.
Set the screws in the concrete and then put the fasteners and then put the bench on top of it.
Yeah. So another thing I was wanting to,
Another thing, sorry. Do you know who your advisor, your district advisor is?
I've been working with my Eagle coach, and I don't have it on name, but we've got the names for the Eagle advisor person. Yeah.
Does Carol ring your bell?
Who?
Carol?
Sorry, I would need to check again. Would you want me to do that now?
That's fine. You don't have to have, do instructions there. But what I was going to do is just give you a little bit of a heads up. There are some district commissioners that look for perfection.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I've been working.
My son's each, I think, had one that they were missing, and another one is, there. So make sure that you just they want to see you take it, literally and
Yeah.
so make your life easier.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I wrote it down to make sure as well, so.
Well, Preston will report on your progress back to us, which is
Yeah.
great.
I make a motion, we recommend to the commissioners to approve the Eve Scott project as presented.
Second.
I like that. So Patrick made it, and Terry second, I think. All in favor? Aye. 7-0-0.
Nice.
Thank you. Good luck to
Thank
you.
you.
Good luck.
Looking forward
Now
to
the,
seeing the end
now the
product.
easy stuff
I
comes,
like the
right?
design of the benches too.
Yeah, quickly, if you could sign, like, beneficiary approval. It's one of the,
Do I sign this? Well, sure.
yeah, one of the signatures I need.
Is there gonna be, should we get commissioners to sign off on that, or?
We
Yeah.
we can take care of that.
They'll take, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the official signature. I don't mind signing it, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
we're a volunteer board. We have zero authority.
Yeah, we don't, yeah, they get paid for that, we don't.
Okay, okay.
Thank you. You have any questions for us?
No, I do not.
Thank you.
Thank you for, you know, looking at my presentation, taking care of my sketch, you know.
All righty,
It took some time, so.
great.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for.
Good luck to
You're
you.
good.
Maybe we'll get invited to the Court of Honor. Huh? Your party. Thank you very much. Okay. Proposal to add a pavilion to Wayland Commons. Would you like to speak about that?
Sure.
I guess you and Preston or
Yes,
Niles?
my,
Yeah,
Do you have pictures, Niles, to show us?
I have a picture that I'll put up in just a second, but I'll let her start, and then we'll go there.
Where they want to.
Okay?
so, first of all, my name is Tara Schultz. I'm the event coordinator for the town of Poolesville.
Yeah.
Hate these microphones. So I'm here tonight to propose that we build a pavilion on Wayland Commons. There's a few reasons for this. We're going through the budget process currently, and looking back over the years, we spend thousands of dollars on tent rentals for events. That includes Poolesville Day, and all the Friday on the Commons, and Springfest. And we're talking 40,000. And tent rentals continue to increase every year, as does everything. So the idea is, how do we solve this having to rent all these tents every single year? We could buy tents, but we don't have storage for them. And they cost, if you get a good tent, about 30,000 each. There's also liability on our town to put them up and be responsible for them, whereas the rental company takes care of that. There is the manpower to put them up. So if the rental company doesn't do it, it falls on Preston and the guys. And they do we have one tent that we do put up. But additional tents, it's just gonna be more time for them, more work. So how do we solve this problem of having some kind of structure or something to prevent us from sun and rain for events? Because a lot of our events are rain or shine. So in comes the pavilion. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, Tara and we've had some good discussions about the park at Wayland. And Wayland Park, years ago, it was an open space. And now, then it has evolved into we have a music venue out there, we have the stage now. And I think as a town, we are evolving, and the citizens have really bought into Wayland as a focal point for our community. And she talks about events having a structure out. I also see it as during the day now, we have a lot of people who eat in Wayland. We have a lot of people that sit underneath the music pavilion for the shade, and they're up there all the time. But I would rather have them off the stage and actually, on some benches underneath, because it's kind of, they get up there, they write on the wall and stuff like that. I think it just kind of eliminates some of the graffiti possibilities. Put the young people, give them some place to sit that's in the open. And normally when you're in the open, you play better basically on there. But more and more, we have a lot of people who walk the trails. They bring their kids up here regular, like when we have the Halloween events. And it'd be nice to have a place they could bring someplace to eat, sit, underneath down in the weather. So just besides her events, I think as a community, as a 365 use for it on there. And if we do it, we were talking, it's like, build it nice. Like to have some power, like to have some water up there for, of course, cleaning it, but the power, because the young kids are always looking to, charge their phones, or people come in and their laptops, do work underneath of it. We really don't have a charging station in Wayland. And we had a couple things up on stage, but once again, it's not in the right spot. But if we put it in the right spot with the right tables and stuff like that, it turns into, outside workstation also. So I kind of see it as a 365 years usage where, her 10 events or 5 events, it would, eliminate some of the work off my back. Because like she says, the tents, I actually, when we go put it up, I actually have to go and get a couple people out of the water department to put it, taking it down, my crew can do it, but it's just different, putting things up and down. And so, it's like, oh, let's add another tent. Well, right now, a tent takes normally about 2.5 hours in the morning, and then it's the same. So I'm losing a half day, and so, but that's full crew. That's me, everybody, so everything stops, my maintenance stops for that time period. And so, as you know, the town's growing. We're adding a couple more communities, and people don't, parks, and then there's stormwater management ponds. So my time is, something gives when, I shift to another thing. So at the long of it, I think it would be cheaper for the town, and I think it'd be another nicety being added to the town. And that's what we've always done. We've always wanted our park system to be used, our trail system to be used. I think this would really add a nice carrot to our Wayland out there. And that's just me speaking. Yes?
Couple questions. Sure. One, where would the proposed location be on Wayland? Is the first question.
Well, we've talked about that. Also, it's like, because it's a beautiful green open space, it still has a lot of room. We were thinking about centered up and cheating it closer to, because the thing is, you want to be able to sit, see the stage, hear the stage, and we can still save some of the integrity of the grass in behind it. So you have your stage, 50, 80 feet. We haven't really set that 100%. But, so you can enjoy whatever on the stage, the music or a play or whatever. You got to have it
It's not
close
going
enough.
to obstruct the view of any other patrons that are there to just sit in a chair and watch.
No.
Are we parallel with the,
Excuse me, sorry.
are we parallel with the amphitheater or the
Yes.
stage?
Yes, sir, parallel. Just
Giles, do you have a aerial
Yeah.
shot of that?
So let me just show you what I was trying to use as a good example of this. Okay. Just give me 1 second.
Well,
So that's what the pavilion will look like. But what I also want to show you is kind of the idea of what we were kind of talking about. Ignore there. Okay. So basically, when we were talking about shading it, so this is a picture, which, hang on 1 second, I have to.
And that is
Do
my
one
wild attempt at Canva, trying to make it look like something
Yeah,
that would make sense on Wayland Commons.
yeah.
Please
Okay.
don't judge the art.
So what I did is I took this picture, I tried to find an online one, but what I did is just take the picture that is in Wade's office, and I can send around later a thing that shows it. But essentially what you'll see here is on the right, I know it's not the greatest picture, is the band shell, or my right, I guess, but band shell. And then the idea was kind of shading it, centering it around where that 0 is in the 150, and kind of having it parallel so it runs the same way as the band shell, so that you sort of still have an open view of everything. So that way it mirrors what we've already done. It's going to be approximately in the same size basically as the open area under the band shell. Wade and I actually looked at the plans for the band shell to see where that's also a 40-foot sort of opening. So that gives you a good sense of some of the size there as well. So it's going to be very similar to that, and then centered, but also shading towards the band shell so that it can be used in that purpose.
Got it. My second question, Well, did you have a question
Go
about
ahead, I got a few, go ahead.
This, my second question was, did we finish the wiring out there? Would this tie into the wiring?
No.
So that would
Yeah.
be all.
So that wiring should be
Should be this,
this spring.
Okay.
2025?
So by upgrading the
Yes.
wiring, this isn't gonna throw it, we're not gonna have to do anything additional?
No,
from an
no,
electrical
no,
standpoint?
No.
We don't have to run wire and water to
No,
it,
I understand that, but I mean,
but it won't affect anything.
Well, it looks like it lines up with the flagpoles, more or less.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be a kind of like a buffer. Okay, you said you sent letters out to the neighbors?
Correct. Each of the residents next to us received a letter that I hand delivered. I didn't get any feedback back for this meeting, so you take that for what it will. But that is what we did to try to get more outreach from them.
Is 30 by 60 big enough? I mean, you're gonna build it, right?
Exactly. That's a discussion, because originally we were talking 20/40, and then was like, now 30/60 would probably be better. And we don't want to overwhelm it either. We're trying to get that, you know what I'm saying, Tim? We're trying to get that balance.
Yeah.
And we still have to have the engineers kind of get involved in, scaling it up and, everything on that. So this is just a,
What about putting solar panels on the top of it, Mr. Engineer?
it's a possibility.
And that way you can have it lit up all night.
It's a possibility.
Thank you. What do you think about a cost for it? What would it cost?
It's a possibility.
well, that was, my other question was, for that 40,000, we've been doing a lot of events out there for a long time.
Yeah. It's
40,000 over how many events versus over how many years?
well, you figure, no, that's per year, it's 40,000.
That's per year.
What's a tent rental
This is what
cost?
we spent last year, was
Last year was
$40,000.
just about 40,000 for tent rentals
40,000
alone
40,000 a year.
for all the events.
What does
24.
one tent cost to rent, roughly?
It depends on the size.
All right, a big size.
So a big tent is anywhere from 1,500 to 2,200. So
Yeah.
like we're talking 20 by 40.
You rent that 4 or 5 times, that's 10 grand, yeah.
And the sides on it, and that's what's always surprising to people, is you have the tent, which is literally the top.
Yeah, then you
But
have,
for all these events, Spring Fest and things, when we have rain, we have to have sides to keep people protected from the elements. Each side is an additional cost. And the heaters for the holiday lighting, an additional cost, so it adds up very fast.
I didn't realize
so,
we had.
but, oh, wait,
heaters at
wait,
Holiday.
we threw heaters in there?
Yeah, for the holiday lighting, we had.
Yeah, for this year, because
No, what I'm saying is in
Why?
that,
It's
in that
winter.
$40,000. I'm just trying to break down the cost real quick. So in that $40,000, we included heaters?
Yeah, they're
for the
just,
one event, because we had to
We're
get
still gonna-
sides.
It doesn't
and-
matter if we have, if we're gonna be heating something, we're gonna have to get heaters anyway, right? So I think we probably have to take that cost out.
okay, but that's nominal.
Yeah, right.
The heaters are nominal
We could
compared to the
buy
actual
heaters.
tent.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we can buy heaters.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just doing a quick, how quickly do we pay ourselves back is the math I'm trying to do. Like, is it gonna cost us $250,000 and we pay it back in 5 years?
So it's
Like-
30, figure it this way. Kick out $5,000. So if you say it's $35,000 a year, right? And something like that's probably gonna run you about $120,000 to build.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I'm trying to do a quick,
But
you
the
know,
use
how
would
quickly,
be,
Absolutely.
how quickly do we make our money back? You know?
Pretty quickly.
but that's $120,000, say, John, right? Possibly?
Possibly, yeah.
But you're gonna get 20 years, 30 years out of it.
At least.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's,
And-
Yeah, so it pays it back
Yeah.
within 5 years and then
Yeah.
you're gonna get,
And another thing, Patrick, like in the past, you've seen this happen, and Wade, we were talking, if we get just a plan started, have it designed, Wade he can find grant money. And if we have, you know what I'm saying, we just get a plan in place, all of a sudden, things could really, move along.
The biggest trick to you is to go ahead and get the plans in place.
Okay.
Because the first thing that has to happen, somebody's gonna say, do you have a plan? And the answer is yes or no. And if you have the plan, then you can get the grant.
Yep.
yeah.
How we work.
Yeah.
We had our skate park, you think about, and then just addition, I think we just had some.
We had it, we got it, yeah.
So Sarah, I had a question.
Yes.
With the proposed location, would that impact the movie nights or anything like that with the screen?
No, because those are movable. We can move that
Okay.
around. We could shift it the other direction, and.
Screen usually gets set up in front of the band shell anyway.
Exactly.
But it could go the
I
other
didn't know
way. We
where-
could put it facing this
Did
direction.
we buy a screen and hang it down? Track.
Wow, you want to, I love it. Go for it.
I've been on this board too many years, we've reinvented the wheel many times.
You know, we could also turn the street around and not get rid of the sun problem.
Yeah, no, I'm,
Yeah, I was, yeah.
I'm with
We can
that.
make that work.
It's
I
all
was
about the
just won- I was
ROI.
just wondering.
You know,
Absolutely. Well,
you got a return on investment, and, you know, if you're talking about 3 years, it's, I mean,
Break even, yeah.
right, I mean, that's, and then plus all, saves you time, saves a lot of putting up, logistics, vendors
it
showing
benefits
up.
the entire community
you
the
know.
rest of the year.
But I also see as a potential revenue, too, because people could rent that out for weddings or, I mean, there's things that, birthday parties and stuff, all of a sudden, it could be, if we want to go that route. They're having it there, very central. There's a lot of things, like I said, I'm looking 365.
You know, it could be a shelter, too. I mean, if something comes up with a storm in the summertime, people just need to dash in there real quick and.
Yes, absolutely,
So-
absolutely.
I mean, there isn't a day I don't drive by, I don't see people out there.
yeah, I think the only issue that we might, like, and nobody's, you said neighbors haven't raised it, but like, it is designated as open space, right? So is there anything we have to do from a, what do you call it, policy standpoint, or from a, how it's designated? Are we gonna have to redesignate it, or?
No, Wade and I had a conversation about this. I mean, this was sort of part of the initial, and Preston talked a little bit about the history of it, but the other part of it was always intended to be a park that people could use and gather and things like this. And so this type of use of putting a pavilion is in line with that original intent, because it allows for people to utilize the park, utilize it as a gathering place, and in that sense aligns with it.
Another thing in your designation of open space within your town codes for subdivisions, within those areas, you can have improvements, as long as they're not buildings like this would not be considered a open space building, but something that such as a restroom or a pavilion of open nature, that's a attribute to the park.
When were the Waylands built, 20 years ago?
Yep.
Tim, don't date yourself, all right.
21?
I was trying to look for a plaque out there, but I didn't see it.
What would the roof be consist of? Are you thinking asphalt, or are you going,
I thought we were going to try to keep it within, we matched this and
the band shell?
and shell.
Yep,
I
exactly.
would assume we would try to match. That was a very crude, I don't want to say crude. But that was just kind of the idea, but we would try the same architectural type of thing,
Right.
white, gray, slate-looking shingles and stuff
Yep.
like that. I think that'd be the way
Columns
to go.
on, around.
And you guys can just upgrade to the 50-year, architectural, something like that, and at least get, a true 30 years out of that.
Or could you even do just like a gray metal roof?
There's another possibility, depending, when you get into more of the details, you could go like a standing seam type roof.
Correct.
That we use on a lot of different buildings.
Yeah, the other pavilions out in town, we do have I believe it's considered standing seam.
It is standing seam.
Maybe run the stamp walkway out there, too.
No, we would, because for the ADA, we would make sure we'd come off the pad that, at the workshop thing and just bring it right on over. So it would be an ADA,
The pad at the what? Where?
The Santa house,
the Santa house. We would bring it,
Everything.
extend the trail.
the little shed.
Yeah, we would put the trail all the way there, so, but once again, people, wheelchairs and stuff, be able to go right to, so they wouldn't have to pass through grass or anything. We'd make sure.
So that's the other thing, you're gonna have to put a sidewalk in, basically. isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know would we have to or not?
Otherwise, you'll get one.
No, well,
Half.
no, you're not required to. Okay, is this
As I said, there's not one at,
Well, you keep
There's
the
not
people
one
off
at-
it.
there's
You
not
want
one
a
at
half end,
Stevens.
which would be good.
What's that?
there's not one at Stevens?
Well, that's probably because Stevens Park,
1985?
yeah, predates ADA.
So if we go to upgrade that.
Probably, it's before my time, so I don't know when you all did it.
It was 85, that's when it was built, Stevens Park.
Wow.
So, but once again, we're evolving, and I think that would be something.
I think we need to look into that. Because it's a flat area, I don't necessarily know if we'll need a sidewalk. I think it'll be accessible.
Well,
for a wheelchair,
That's
right?
not,
There's
Yeah,
wheelchair, Pemmy can take a wheelchair.
There's got to be wheelchairs during, or, other handicapped people that are coming
That's
for other
also
events
fine now.
that walk on the
I'm
ground.
just saying.
That's something that we can add or subtract. I mean, that's a.
I think the concept of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just,
It-
I would rethink that, because then you got a path basically going right through the middle.
There is another option to always go ahead and put reinforced grass turf, what we call reinforced grass turf, which is gonna be similar to what over here in the park is gonna be.
You put the block in the ground and
Well,
the grass
they-
comes out.
They
of
make a
it.
plastic one now, so.
Yeah, okay. It just, I don't, that'd literally be a sidewalk bisecting the open space, which I don't necessarily know if that would.
Okay, we'll take a look at that for sure.
You know you're gonna get a path there.
But yeah.
People are gonna
I
walk
mean,
that.
I guess my concern is that the view of Poolesville, right? So you drive into town, now we over here on the left have CVS, and then we've got these new townhouses. I think that it is a nice space to have this green open spot that seems welcoming. I think it's something to consider. I think the idea of a pavilion's great, but I just don't want this center place of the town to look janky. I just don't. And I think the more cement we put in here, the less we're going away from green space. I think we have lots of places for people to do their weddings, their birthday parties, whatever. Stevens Park spelled with a V. I don't know that the centerpiece of the town, this is the center, right? This is the heart of the town. I like the idea of it. I just am really concerned about what it's gonna look like. Is it just another band shell next to a band shell in style? Like, let's really think about what we're putting there. And I don't like the idea, I do like the idea of all people being able to access, but putting more cement sidewalks in, I've seen
Or
that
asphalt
go,
even, stamped
I've seen that
asphalt,
go disastrous, where you're like, just
I could just see it, like, where are you gonna come?
concerned about
Yeah.
that.
Look at that picture, dissect the whole
But
half.
that is more stuff that we can work out once we get into the idea of how we want it to connect to things. Because we could do, as John said, do the reinforced grass or do other things. And whether we need to, how we need to is another question as well of what we want to approach in terms of access.
I'm with Gail on this. If we're gonna do it, it needs to be integrated into the park and look good. Yeah, I don't wanna,
Yeah.
like, I asked a question about money earlier. It looks like we could easily, the ROI is there, but if we gotta spend a little bit more to make it look, like an integrated part of the park and
It's actually, yeah, right.
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we need to put a lot of thought into the design and everything else. I know we're just in the conceptual stage here, I get that, but I mean, I agree with Gail. I think it needs to be very, very
Well thought
thoughtful in how we do it.
I think, it could be really cool if you get some nice plants. That
Yeah,
sounds corny,
landscape
but
it,
like
yeah,
if
no.
you had beautiful landscaping around it, that could be awesome. But to just do building, to me, is like cringe when I would drive into this town. And what are we trying to present as a town? That's all I think it's a great idea. I've worked on the events. I know that a lot goes into it, so I appreciate the work y'all do, but that's all. I just want to make sure we look.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
What about if we put it on the other end of the field as a bookend as opposed to like right smack in the middle? I know you wouldn't have.
The problem with that is the events tend to get spread too far, and then it's not, they can't hear the band or
Not
what's
condensed.
going on in the band shell if they're way down there sitting.
Yeah. And it's part of the idea of this is trying to help with the events itself as well. So it's not just its location, but also how it can be utilized best for events as well.
Yeah. We have looked at other things prior to this, just so you know, we've done our due diligence. We have looked at metal structures that have the sail shades. There is everything out there under the sun, and none of them will fit in.
And those
So that's where we landed, back to the pavilion and somehow making that work.
I was
like
actually
that.
thinking, like, how can you do something where you go down in front of it, like almost like a wolf trap? kind
Red
of
rocks,
thing?
yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Red
too
Rocks in
high, like,
Poolesville.
you'd have to.
We're ready to spend some.
There's also,
Do some serious
I'm
digging.
game
You
for
guys keep
whatever you
spending
want to
money, I'll
spend
let you
on.
know on the 22nd.
I like the idea.
yeah,
There's a well-planned pavilion.
But I mean, if you
Landscape
did it where
nicely.
it's like, where you go
like
down
an
and
afterthought.
you get it closer to the band shell,
some
and it
trees in
actually
now.
is like band shell seating, almost, if you will. But areas where you can
Like
sit,
an orchestra pit and everything?
like a wolf trap or a red rock, or where it's. But
That'd be
it's
lovely. You all got the cat?
I think we're doing a joint
Fundraising.
meeting right now.
well, you're gonna do it.
Can be done, right, John? Possibility.
Anything can be done.
anything can be done.
Not digging that hole, John. All right, you guys,
No, I'm just saying, there's pros and cons to everyone,
Yeah.
what we discussed, we got a lot,
well, I'm sure we'll see it again.
so yeah. I like the idea, we just gotta figure out aesthetics and
Terry, what do you?
placement and scale.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea, but again, like Pat and Gail said, right? It's got to really fit in. It's got to really,
Well, that could be on our recommendation,
So, I mean, Niles, the only thing, I mean, it's
Yeah.
more informative, that you don't need anything from this.
The only thing that we were thinking is just saying, if you have a recommendation to go ahead for us to explore this. This will allow us, for example, to put money in the budget towards this so that we could get to the next phase. The next phase of this would be, as noted in the memo by Tara, would be to, actually draw up full plans and sort of get into these ideas of the landscaping and architecture and things like that.
But then it comes back to this body, and
Yes.
we have to make that recommendation that
Correct.
that the commission should approve the
Final
plan.
scheme.
Correct.
Yes, exactly. Mhm.
Let someone make a nice recommendation then.
Pat, make a recommendation.
Recommendation.
It's always fast.
We recommend building a pavilion
No, I don't recommend
of
building.
good taste.
No. We recommend to the commissioners that they explore the idea and get a conceptual plan for a pavilion at Wayland Commons.
And add to the budget?
No.
Well, you
Yeah, I
have to
don't
add,
think-
well, you have to add.
Well, you don't have to add it. That's just your recommendation.
Okay.
We've already,
So
in anticipation of this, we can put this to the budget.
you'd be adding it to, well, I understand why you're doing that, because budget cycle's coming up, right? I get that.
Exactly.
But we're telling you to set aside, we're asking the commissioners
Commissioners.
money for something we don't.
And
even-
grants.
But you
possible
gotta
grants.
pay for the conceptual plan.
You have to pay, yeah, it still costs money to design it.
Right, if you don't have money put in, then you won't get a grant.
Yeah.
Either.
So, I don't know that this is gonna happen the way it's gonna happen, but they're gonna say, okay, this is what we're thinking about doing. Somebody go ahead and design the building, or get a concept design for it, get a concept site plan, so that a rendering could be done that they fly around and you can have the drone fly underneath it and get the visual of how it's gonna sit at the stage or whatever. But you're gonna need a concept.
Right.
And then, Niles, if I'm not speaking correctly, then it's gonna come back for the board. You're gonna watch the video of the guy flying around in the thing and how it's gonna look, how cool it's gonna be. And then you're gonna make a recommendation to the board to go ahead, to the commissioners, to go ahead and approve or
Kind of
approve it or not approve it. And then it goes from there into the funding stream, in the building, the
So-
actual plans.
So you wouldn't put any money away for 2026 yet? I mean, 10,000 just to say we want to do this.
No, that's up to the commissioners.
And what we have suggested when parts were first was to produce a line item in the budget. Don't fund it with anything, but it's there to be filled if and when the board needs it.
Can you have
So
a
you're
line
saying,
item?
you're saying we recommend that they explore the idea and add in a line item to the budget as, for a placeholder?
I'd say just do it for the concept plan. You don't have to say anything further than that.
Okay.
Well, then my
Because that's where we're
recommendation our recommendation is saying you should approve money for the concept plans. I don't think we need to add in.
Yeah, exactly.
The dollar
Yeah.
amount, right?
Okay.
No, that's fine. I think that's all we need for this point, is just to
Yeah, I
say
mean, we're
that.
saying we recommend to the commissioners that they explore the idea of a, I don't think we need to throw a dollar amount
Yeah.
in there.
No,
Sure that, you know.
no, there's no need for a dollar amount, no.
What does it say?
Recommendation to commissioners to explore the idea of conceptual plan for event pavilion at Whalen Commons?
That's what I have in my notes here. Yeah, that's what I have. I mean, literally verbatim almost.
We're not going to make it look terrible, I promise.
No, I'm kidding. All right, so there's the motion
We
Patrick
don't
made.
think we make it look
You should quote
terrible,
me
but it's
how I
like,
said
there's
it.
gonna be, just for being on this board, the amount of time I've been on this board, there's gonna be mixed emotions.
Absolutely.
This is why we're all sitting here right now.
Topic in
you know.
All
town.
right, we have a motion on the, we have a motion out there. Who's gonna, anyone second it?
Gail?
Oh, sure, I'd love to. I second the motion.
Okay. Well, I'll call the vote then.
Oh, you're calling?
Well, you seconded it, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anyone want to abstain? Okay, 7-0-0. All right. Done.
Step one.
Step one, you're on your way. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And the Eagle Project guy had it easy.
For me, next time. Francis, you don't have to say.
All right.
Well,
any-
benches are a whole lot less controversial than a bench or a pavilion on the,
Is the bench gonna have solar?
So let's go to old business now. So next meeting is going to be April 9th, 6 o'clock. Were you here for that? We talked about that? Yeah, you were here, right? Yeah. 6
Were you and Doug here?
Stevens Park, meet in the parking lot. And then we'll head over here at 7 o'clock for a quick meeting.
Right here.
After.
Stevens.
Yeah, April 9th,
Down
Stevens.
there and check.
Doug, you going to be there?
You gonna put that in your, you want me to pick Doug up on the way?
Sure, here and there,
No, just
Quarter-mile away?
right here.
Yeah, so we'll meet at Stevens in the parking lot. I'm sure there'll be a baseball game going on.
Okay.
And we'll just tour it, and I'll get with Niles before, and we'll have a little agenda. We can talk about things.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Just whatever you want to do, how we want to proceed. Just let me know what you want to do.
Okay.
We're just walking around, see what's needed, and how old things are and how new things are.
Mhm.
All right, so, okay, Superintendent of Parks and Streets report.
Okay.
Take it away, Mr. Preston King.
Springtime's arrived, salt equipment went away. Actually, overall, this is one of our more busier years with the snow removal. I thought our contractors did well. My crew did well. I had a couple of new drivers. They really did well. I was very happy with their diligence. They did a nice job for me. And you never know when you're putting people into it. And we hadn't been pressed for years. And we still didn't get a big snowstorm, but we had long, drawn-out snow events this year. I wish we had more snow. We are in a severe drought. I'm just saying. Our plants, next year, this spring, we won't see a lot of dead trees. And there's nothing I can do about it. This is the third summer that they've been stressed this winter time. Literally, we didn't receive enough moisture. So, you know, they're going to come out, they'll shoot out beautiful leaves and everything, and then if we don't get any rain, you will see. So, you know, your neighbors, just tell them, call in, we'll take care of them on that. So, with that said, we started our springtime cleanup in the parks. We have 2 ball fields ready to go. By Friday, we'll have all 3 baseball fields operational. We do have some more ball diamond mix coming in Monday, Tuesday. That got delayed because Pennsylvania, where we get it, the soil's still frozen up there. And so they mix our ball diamond mix. So, but it doesn't affect it. Everything will be fine. Our target date is April 1st for having the bathrooms open, but we could move that up depending on the weather. Sometimes last year we could have done it the first week of March, but this year we weren't quite sure where the weather was shaking out. So, but I could foresee by the end of next week we potentially could have the bathrooms open. Then we'll put an announcement out that the bathroom will be open in that department. We actually had a pretty good season this last month. We got a lot of trees pruned up, a lot of neighborhoods cleaned up, trees brought up. We had a nice run on that. I have Cody Lieberman. He's really coming on. He's one of our, he's been here, I think, 10 years now. and he's really started stepping his game up. Like I said, I have 2 younger ones that really did really well in the snow event, and my crew really is coming on. It's a nice crew, and I'd like to keep them around with that. Like I said, springtime's coming. We're bringing the fishing tournament back also, and we'll have that May 31st, and that's going to be at the middle school pond. And we don't have the state fish anymore, but my friend Rick Davison, who's director of the wastewater department, him and we're just going to go catch a lot of fish and bring it back for the kids too. That's what we've been doing anyways. And the pond, right now, our ponds are at the best it's ever been. When I am treating Stevens Pond. We do have, they call it SUV, subaquatic vegetation. It took over the pond the last couple of years. A couple of reasons, it's a shallow pond and lack of water, and so I have to treat it. I'm hoping, and what happens when you treat that much organic material, when it dies, it pulls the oxygen out of the water, and we do have a vibrant koi population in there. So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to do the first treatment next week, because the water's still cool, but I need, but we're going to have, it's going to be more, it's a changeover, because the stuff I use is absorbed by the roots, so the plants have to be growing. And so it's going to try to, because we have beautiful lily pads in that pond too. So I'm going to try, I'm doing pellets, so I can control where I can do it. So I'm going to try to reduce the vegetation probably by 80 to 90% over this summer. And then we're going to do some light treatment in Collier Circle Pond, because that's got to a point that affects my aerators. It just keeps getting sucked in and shutting it down. So I'm going to put a nice perimeter around that with a slow release pellets also. And we have a great core population. We have a couple ponds that have beautiful 30-pound koi in it now. Wow. And this springtime, when the water's clear before the vegetations, especially in the afternoon, go to the sunny bank, they'll be sitting right there, beautiful orange, whites, but they're this big now. They're beautiful fish in there. And that, that's something we've been working as a group to. And koi aren't our sports fish. They really more aesthetics. I'm just saying they're beautiful to watch.
Is there a natural predator for that?
What's that?
For the growth, the subaquatic growth? Is it like they're a natural, something that eats it, something that,
Well, at one time, they call it Israeli carp, grass carp, and we used them to a certain extent. Well, you're no longer allowed to. And see, we got them and they're sterile. Well, over the years, they've died out, and the state considers them an invasive species. So we no longer can use a fish as a way to. The koi do help a little bit there. They'll eat some of that duckweed. So that's the closest we can, but they don't eat enough of it. Where the other ones was like a vacuum. They ate it all the time.
Well, we'll be over there on April 9th. We'll see.
Was that, sir?
We'll be over there.
Yep, correct.
Yep. So anyways, that's where we're at right now. You'll see us out. The mowers, we're actually, today was a rainy day. We've got all the mowers, we got all the fluids, new blades on. And so I'd say by April 1st, we'll be mowing again. Every year it's a week earlier, it seems like this. We've been in a warmer climate and everything. On there, I think we have a baseball tournament. NPAA putting a baseball, the girls softball thing this year. They put in for a permit to have a tournament early on.
That's
When is that, Niles?
That's in May. That's in May.
Or early May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we'll have the fields.
It's about a month into the season, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first tournament we've had in years, by the way.
Yeah.
And, so, which is great. I'm glad PAA's doing that, and that's good revenue for them, for those guys. And our girls softball program is growing exponentially, which is fantastic. And we converted that field 2 years ago, ball field 2, and they really love that field.
I need to, because I know with MCPS, they're having really down numbers for girls softball, and they're actually talking about maybe getting rid of it in a couple of years. So.
Where?
In MCPS for athletics.
Really?
Softball, yeah. A lot of schools are, I forget how many how many high schools are, have girls softball, but the numbers are very limited.
Really? And ours have gone, I'm telling you.
I know.
The other way. I've never seen so many.
What do they compete with at the girls lacrosse?
That, and they've had such a big turnout with the flag football, they're talking fall and spring.
Flag football.
They're talking about adding flag to spring sport too, having a dual season.
That would really,
That's not I don't work there, I'm just saying, what I hear.
It would not be good.
What else you got?
That's about it. And hey, everybody's eyes, I appreciate phone calls if you guys see issues, except for you, smarty pants. Anyway,
Put it in as a Parks Board message.
like Tim does his walk around, you jog and everything, you walk. Just keep me posted when you guys see these things. That's the best. Because you can ask now, we don't, we have a system that you can put complaints and stuff in. We get very few, but and because I just pride myself, people call us directly now, which I don't mind. And so,
I
now,
usually just text you.
what's that? Yeah,
just-
my
however-
goal, I don't want Niles or Wade to get phone calls. So I put it out to people and it works well. It really does work.
I texted you the other, when we had the last snow event about the ice, there's ice on the sidewalk on Cattail. And the next day, I saw you guys out there.
And since then, we actually went and bought an insert for our Kubota. So now we actually have a salt spreader, electric one, goes in there, so we won't have that problem again.
That's cool.
So we addressed that, like I said, we got that. And that was a strange weather event, too. Snow stayed on the ground 3 months. I mean, three weeks. And normally in Maryland, in all honesty, it snows one day, it's pretty one day, the third day it's gone.
Yep.
It didn't happen this time. It was cold at all. So anyway, so now Wade's been good about allowing me to get equipment. And now we identified a problem and we have the tools in place now to handle a lot of that.
Very good.
So,
Yeah, you guys are always on it. whenever-
All right, Preston, you're all done then?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
The Town Commissioner Liaison Report.
All right, I'll go nice and quick because Preston hit on a lot. But the commissioners voted unanimously for the installation of the lighted crosswalk of PES, which I think we are getting ready to install shortly. That's the one over on Cattail by the speed bump. We also voted for the installation of no parking signs in Wooten, which passed again, which I don't have a date when we're going to start that process.
It will be in Monday.
Okay, Monday.
I ordered the signs, I've just called Miss Utility,
Yep,
and the crosswalk, the concrete was poured.
correct. Yep, that's when you guys said,
The crosswalk, the concrete's poured, the anchors are there, it's imminent. The poles they were sent off to get, Morningstar sent them out, powder coating, they could go up tomorrow. Because I got everything in place, I just need my poles.
Those are solar powered, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
They're the same pattern. We're also ordered, now I'm kind of talking over you. But we
That's
also,
okay.
because a light bulb came on. We also ordered 2 more,
a liaison report. It's what's supposed to happen, right?
The speed indicator
the
signs.
speed, 25 mile, the one that tell you how fast you're going.
Yep.
We ordered two new ones to replace the old ones that we had 15 years ago. And these actually record data too, so we can tell the car speeds that coming and going.
Still keeping the old ones?
No, the other one's breaking down. That's why we went ahead. We're going to replace those 2 mobile ones with more modern ones that will allow us
Remember when
to.
we first put those in? The kids were trying to see how fast they could go.
And those didn't have.
You had to turn them off.
Running? Oh, I
Yeah.
did.
No, see, they can, because if it can get to 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was up, they like, turn it off.
Anyways, sorry for,
It's all good. It's all good. Any other questions? No, I'm just kidding. Actually, Monday, we had another great presentation with the Trails Working Group. Again, just very thorough, fantastic committee to work with. I'm glad that, we had a couple of our parks people, Tim and Pat were there, and, I just look forward to, next steps of figuring out cost and priority of which path we're going to start with. So I know that's down the line, but again, it's important. Again, we know we have our dog park walk next month. And while we're over there at Stevens Park, which is, I just got to get an idea of where that location is going to be. It's been, I'm not going to lie, it's been a while since I've been over to Stevens Park. Probably last senior picnic that I saw you guys for the high school. The other thing that I have on my list, this is more of a personal request. It's getting dark out. A lot of runners, or I'm having it, hunters run. They're running at night in darkness, in dark clothes, dark shoes. And I almost hit one the other day, even though that, I still can see at night. But again, we got to figure out either a little bit more lighting over near the Hughes Road area, or, some kind of, email out to, at least be a little bit more safety conscious, wear a vest at night, it's not that big of a thing. Reflective clothing, I mean, it's very simple, but it's happened to me twice in like 3 months, and I have no problem with people running, but just be cautious that, and I've also seen people, crossing some of the crosswalks without the
flashers, yeah.
the lighted ones. Matter of fact, one of across from my church, United Methodist Church, going into Howler.
Yeah.
That's a speed zone anyhow, getting out of there at times where you creep out and then you stop twice or 3 times just to make sure you don't get hit. So I don't know if we have something we could talk about in the future on that.
That's a state road.
It is a state road, yeah.
Yeah.
That's also, right there is a bus stop for the middle school. And
Correct.
we've asked them several times. One, that needs better lighting, and two, it needs a crosswalk, an actual crosswalk.
And just to touch base on that, just to follow up, we included that in our concerns about that crossing into the comprehensive plan. And then the state wrote back a letter about that. So we're going to try to follow up with them again to try to see if we can work with them on those improvements. One of the issues, and I'm trying to work on an approach to this, is that like the flashers we have, the state does not recognize as a traffic controlling device. They don't like them for whatever reason. And so I'm trying to work on an approach using the manual, the traffic manual, to try to craft something that sort of addresses our concerns and tries to get what we want out of it on that road.
So Niles, the reason that the traffic devices have not been accepted is they haven't gone through a testing procedure through Maryland State Highway Systems.
Yeah.
And that's why we do not have the ones that most every other state has. So.
Well, they tested pulling up my Poolesville mulch sale signs today in the rain, so, I mean, that's pretty important. Didn't want to affect anybody walking down the sidewalk. But they stopped right in front of Tad's and pulled them right on out of the yard. So, but testing lighted crosswalks are down the priority list, I guess.
Yeah. So that's something that we've been trying to kick around how to approach it with them and address it.
Yeah, I mean, if I had my druthers, we would have the state push that sidewalk back 5 feet and put some sort of, it's a dangerous sidewalk. It's the most dangerous sidewalk in town, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You tell me.
And the other thing to note is that we're going to have people from State Highway come to talk about partnership and 107 at a future commissioners meeting. It might even be the next meeting, the 17th. I just have to, Wade is working on that. So we can bring these other issues up with them as well, but that will be the purpose of that meeting. So that's the other thing to address.
No curb and gutter?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, there's parts of it that don't have.
No, I want by you, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about, my Methodist church.
No, even further, there's no curb and gutter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying, that whole sidewalk.
Yeah,
That
but
whole sidewalk back 5 feet.
it's just, I mean, we got to think safety first.
Then we can
No.
talk about the pool, right?
Yeah. Pool bubbles and community centers and all that good stuff.
Anything's possible.
I'm gonna go out there and paint if I have to.
Well, that's the county, and that's a whole different ball of wax with the pool there and the entrance to the pool there
Yep.
as well.
So other than that, that's pretty much what I have. I mean, it's, we got our budget meeting, the commissioner budget meeting, FY '26 on March 22nd, Saturday, so we'll be in here for a while.
Was there any talk about the trails after we left?
Just minimal, we wanted to circle back with them, and that's what I was saying, the priorities of it, and start trying to get some ideas of budget, and we talked about easements, and we talked about, the different types of pavement and the material used, but definitely interested. I know the commissioners are, it's been out there since, what, 1990?
It was the original plan, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been there for a while, so.
It needs to be updated, it needs to be done.
It does, 100%. And look, I know there's some, a few of them are really big obstacles, but, the ones that I think that we can dedicate the most resources and priorities should be the ones that are easier, and then we can work on the more difficult ones. So, I mean, we're getting more residents that walk. I mean, again, my hunters run, and, well, Doug's too. I mean, we have hundreds of people a day, and I'm sure, Stony Springs, Brightwell, everything else is just as many walkers, so. But again, having a path and just being outside and getting off of the pavement is also nice too. I said I go to Nucio Canal or White's Ferry or Edwards Ferry, depending. But again, it's a great concept, and, you know, we look forward as a commissioners to proceeding accordingly with that.
Alan, did you say there were no parking?
Now, you got anything to add? I got one question.
Wooten,
Back house.
yeah,
Okay.
by call halls, not the whole way
Yeah,
down.
I think you might have been,
That's what I thought.
Yeah, because we had talked about the school, the dropping
Yeah.
off, picking up, is a just, it's a bottleneck with Fisher, and we had a couple abandoned cars, you know,
Yes, exactly, that's,
so
that
that's,
was on Soper.
okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's only going down to, is it that one pump house, or what is the,
Where it's well 3 is, the entrance to well 3.
Well, 3, yeah.
well, three, yep.
Yeah.
so.
Now, as we had talked a couple meetings ago about the islands in some of the old cul-de-sacs.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So Preston and I and Wade had a good conversation about that, about the parking, and in front of it. And what we ended up doing with the subsequent storm there is we sent out, I gave Preston letters to actually put on people's cars, and we ended up identifying, I think, a couple of the houses responsible for that. So I think we saw some improvement with their behavior. Is that accurate, Preston? And so, yeah, won't be perfect, but yeah. And so we're looking at sort of continuing on that path to see what we want to do, whether we want to actually sign them as being no parking, or whether we want to address it in these emergency situations, or how we want to address it going forward.
So we will never take those islands out then?
No,
I mean-
they didn't want to go that route.
Yeah.
Got it, I couldn't hear him, okay.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Mhm.
That's fine. It's just an issue with, you know, snow or for emergency vehicle.
And that's what I have, so. I know Gail likes
Gail,
to
your
adjourn.
report?
Yeah. My report, your report, everybody's report.
All right, anyone have anything to bring up? Gail?
No.
Doug?
No.
Stina? I got nothing. Patrick?
Nope.
Jerry? Nope. Commissioner?
I'm good.
All right. Preston?
Ready to go?
Mr. King? I mean, Mr.
It's wrong.
He is the king, though.
Make a motion.
He just actually just drew up the conceptual plan for the pavilion.
All right, let's
Said
make
no.
a motion. Here's-
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Let's get out of here. See you guys 6 o'clock on April 9th. I will send out a reminder through the text, okay? Remind everyone.
Is this?
I have it in my phone that I am picking Doug up